Greetings from YouTubeville. Once again, it's the draft guru, Danny Savage. We rocking a different hat today. Got the, wait a second, hold on. Got the GWO shirt on. Best beard on YouTube. All right. Today we're going to just be throwing out 5 names for cornerback list for the fall of 2024-2025 NFL draft. Now, I'm going to start off with probably the most intriguing prospect that is out there. Travis Hunter from University of Colorado. He's a corner and a wide receiver. I personally, right now, don't know which is his better position. He's definitely a ball hawk at corner, but there's talk of him moving him to nickel so he can move around a lot and face the other team's top wide receiver. He's also a sick wide receiver. There's been plays last year in college football, and it's just unheard of. That's my monster making all this noise. What are you doing? What are you doing? You know, there was plays last year. I mean, like, God bless you. This kid got like he would play over 100 downs in a game in crazy heat. That versatility alone, where you can have a shutdown corner, a wide receiver, a special team player, a guy that can get back on corner being drafted. It's hard enough to play one position in the NFL, in college football itself. But to see this kid go both ways and have over 100 plays in 100-degree heat, this kid is just not normal. You got to go back to that I know of when I was a young kid. I believe he played for Holy Cross. And I'm showing my age. You can Google him. His name was Gordy Lockbaum. And he legit went both ways every single game. And me personally, I have not seen that yet. Since then, and we're talking, that's like almost 40 years ago. So just on that versatility, I think, and I don't think, honestly, he's scratched his potential yet on what he could be. I also think once he settles down on one position in the NFL, whichever it is, but I think it will be corner, he's going to excel. But to draft a kid on defense and you can throw, maybe have, let's say, 10 plays a game on offense scripted for this kid. I mean, that's just straight nuts. This kid's athletic ability is straight nuts. So in my eyes, it's very early. We're having fun. But in my eyes, he's CB1 as of right now. Damn, my beard looks good. Sorry for saying that. All right. Number 2, Denzel Burke, Ohio State, 6'1", 190. Great size. He's rangy. You don't have him putting him on the other team's number 1 wide receiver. He's going to excel. We all know these Ohio State kids. It's just a factory lately. The last few years, they've just been pumping out dudes left and right into the NFL. So I like him a lot as my top in my top 5. Very early. It's a very early top 5. We're just having fun. 0 week is the last week in August, but that's coming quick. That's coming quick. But right now, Hunter's my number 1. And Denzel Burke, he's up there. He's definitely up there because I like my corners big. He's 6'1", 190. And we're just like how I spoke the other day about running backs, we're seeing much, much larger wide receivers. And also think about Denzel Burke. For the last few years, he was practicing every day against Marvin Harrison, Emeka Egbuka. Game days, when you got to practice against those dudes, game days are a joke. Game days are easy, you know? And in general, you should practice like that. Your practices should be that hard. So come game time, games are a joke. But that's who he's been practicing up against. So I truly think he's a diamond in the rough. Got a kid, Will Johnson, out of Michigan, 6'2", 202. He's had 7 INTs over his career. And in my opinion, that's impressive for a Big Ten corner, because we all know that the Big Ten is predominantly a run first pass league, especially as we get into November, December, and these kids are playing in super, super cold weather. So he's a name to watch out for. Michigan also has another corner to watch out for, but I'm not gonna speak on him until I do cornerbacks part 2. All right, now check out this dude's story. His name is Denver Harris, 6'1", 190. Started out at Texas A&M, LSU, got suspended a few times from LSU. As of right now, he's at University of Texas San Antonio. That's what he's at now. And who knows, this kid might even transfer again. But he's 6'1", 190, has the size, the length, the range that the NFL is going to these days. Hold on. So I like my corners big because, like I was saying, the wide receivers are getting taller, and you might have to ask this kid a time or two to cover a tight end, and the tight ends are even getting bigger. So that's why when you got smaller corners, they kind of get devalued a little bit, but there are a lot of smaller corners that can play. So height is not everything for a corner. I mean, it's his athletic ability, how smooth are his hips, and everything. So there's a lot of things. And let's be honest, besides Travis Hunter, cornerbacks are basically wide receivers with bad hands. When you get an offer and you go to college, they're not just saying, "Oh, you're a corner, you're this, you're that." They're going to try you out at different positions, but 9 times out of 10, all corners, like I said, they're just wide receivers that can't catch. So that's that. But like I said, we're having fun, and we're just throwing out 5 names to look forward to come the college fall. Last guy is Jabari Muhammad. Started out at Washington State, 3-year starter, then transferred to Oregon. Oregon is pretty loaded this year. I think it's going to be, in my opinion, for the national championship, you got to throw 4 names out there. Oregon, Ohio State, Georgia, and Alabama, in my opinion. And don't forget, there will be a wild card in there. But as of right now, those are my 4 teams that are going to be vying for the national championship in college football. This kid's a 3-year starter, and now he's at Oregon. I guess he's chasing a title, or, they offered him more NIL money. I don't know, man. I mean, Oregon, Washington, they're both on the West Coast, so the weather's the same, and it doesn't really matter, So we're having fun. Today is just, we're throwing out 5 names, having fun. Tomorrow, we're going to drop part 2 of 5 more defensive tackle watch list. I'm probably going to I would try to get to like 122 players by July the 1st. And then after that, we're going to go and do small school prospects too. Your James Madisons, your UMasses of the worlds, your FIUs, your Marshalls. You're going to have all sleeper names, but you're going to laugh. These sleeper names get drafted. These sleeper names that nobody's ever heard of, you can make crazy money Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night on these guys, scoring touchdowns and having sacks and TDs and all that stuff like that. So when it comes to, like I said, tomorrow we're going to drop 5 more defensive tackles. We're going to drop 5 more DTs starting tomorrow, 5 more defensive ends, 5 more linebackers, 5 more safeties, 5 more corners, 5 more wide receivers, 5 more tight ends, 5 more offensive tackles, 5 more guards, and 5 more centers. And the last is going to be, we're going to rank 10 quarterbacks. Then I'm going to swing back and we're going to do small schools, because the small school guys wind up in the NFL, and the small school guys can make you just as much. They can make you just as much money on a Tuesday, Wednesday night than they can do on Saturdays or the big, the top 25 in college football. So if you know what you're doing and you're a fanatic like me, you know all these small school guys. So like I said, thank you everybody for showing up. Like and subscribe. It don't cost a dime. And tomorrow we're going to be doing 5 more big run stuffing monsters at defensive tackle. Because like I said before, listen, I'm not going to say, I know my strengths, I know my weaknesses, I know what positions are my strengths and some that I'm not on. So when we start talking about the trenches on offense and defense, linebackers, safeties, running backs, that's where I excel on. Even a little bit wide receivers too. Like I said, if I have a weakness, it's quarterback. But it seems like for all these NFL executives, quarterbacks are all their weaknesses also, because these dudes get paid millions and they pick busts every year. So, like I said, when you're rocking with the GWO, it's for life. Thank you, everybody.